Welcome back to Theater Talk Boston. Today, I am so excited because in the first time in Theater Talk Boston history, we have repeat guests.
Wow.
So we're at the Lyric Stage Company tonight, and we're chatting with Michael and Rosa, who you all will remember from our fantastic interview with the Little Foxes last season, which we'll get into all about that. But hi, guys.
Hi.
Happy to be here.
What have you been up to since last we chatted? Let's just start there.
Michael has been very, very busy, so I'm going to let him go first.
Great. Okay. So we last chatted in March of 2019, this very year. And since then, I was primarily busy working on development and then premiering my debut solo show, which is called Everyone is Dying, and So Am I. I'm going to spike levels because I did that. I love microphone tricks. But I premiered my solo show here in Boston with Open Theater Project and at a solo theater festival at Theater Row called United Solo in New York City. And have been immersing myself in my playwright side and my creator side and my producer side. Then I did the New York performances in mid-October, and Rosa came out to see it in New York, and then pretty much immediately landed back on the Lyric stage. So I had a solo show sandwich with Lyric stage bread, and let me tell you, it was a delicious dish. But that's pretty much what I've been up to. And I work during the days at Arts Emerson, 2 blocks away. So it's an artful life, and I'm really grateful for it.
My turn?
Yeah, please.
I can attest to how wonderful Michael's show was. I actually haven't seen a show in a long time, and maybe it's because I know Michael, but it was one of the most authentic shows that I've seen in a very, very long time. It felt just like 100% him, and it was really beautiful to watch and such a privilege. So go see it if you can. I have been in New York City. I've been doing some shows. I have some projects coming up that I'm really excited about, a little bit of TV and film stuff that I'm excited about. But just living life in New York City. And I'm very glad to be back in Boston. Yeah.
That's so exciting. We follow both of you on Instagram, and so we do.
I post on Instagram. That must be really important.
I posted it for the
Michael.
No, I was gonna say, so we've seen, we've watched your whole journey and going to New York, and it just looked. I'm so sad I missed it, but
it's
sure.
I'm bringing it back.
He's bringing it back.
Have
Okay.
Good old big Boston moment.
Yeah.
Let us know, and we will fully cover it. And okay, we'll get into that.
We'll get into that.
Lovely. So while we're here tonight, talk to me about Agatha Christie's Murder on the Orient Express, not to be confused with anyone else's Murder on the Orient Express. But yeah, so tell me, what is it all about?
Without giving too much away, sure. It is about a group of very
Diverse.
Eclectic is the better word for sure. Group of people who all board a train. The train gets stopped in the snow, and there is a murder on board. And
it is the classic, the classic murder mystery of the mystery canon. Who committed the murder? It features one of the genre's most beloved characters, Hercule Poirot, who is played in our production by the inimitable and gorgeous Remo Araldi, who was also in The Little Foxes. Effectively, the play is an adaptation of the book, and the plot is
with some plot twists. So if you read the book, you know, you'll be thrown some.
But it's a whodunit.
Yeah, and I would like to say that as the play moves along, I think the suspicion at one point or another falls on everyone. So it's quite fun.
Yeah.
That's
the plot.
Yeah, and Agatha Christie's just really, really fun. I was actually in one of her other shows about 6 months ago, and she's really, really great at creating these very, very strong characters that are very rooted in their circumstances, and she writes them so well, and they're just really, really fun to play.
Yeah, we'll get into more mystery stuff in a second. But, oh yeah, I was going to say, I had never seen it before. I never read it. I didn't see the movie. So I was so excited. And during intermission, I was with my friend. I'm like, I think it's him. No, I think it's so.
Right? Yeah.
Oh, so great. So great.
the goal.
So I wanted to ask you, did you see the movie before? Had you read the book? Or when you got the script, was that the first time you knew who was guilty?
I got the script and then I read the book.
Okay.
And I've read a couple of of her stories. I haven't seen the movie. And I've heard mixed things. People have very strong opinions about the movie.
I went to the movie and fell asleep like in the first 2 minutes.
You know, a lot of people are either
when
like,
the train was leaving. I'm like, so I had no idea.
Great.
Which is
yeah,
great,
people
but-
are really divided on that movie.
I love a paid nap, you know?
Especially with those reclining seats.
Yeah, I was I knew of Agatha Christie and I knew like who she was, especially like the mystery of her own disappearance. Like, love that moment in the life of a writer. But I had not read the book. When I was cast, I ordered the book on Amazon. I read it. And then a little bit later, we got the script. And that's actually like a super interesting little fold of the whole thing, because despite this being a classic of the mystery genre, this adaptation by Ken Ludwig is pretty much a new play. This is the Boston premiere. And previously, like, its most notable productions were at the McCarter in Princeton and at Hartford Stage in Hartford, Connecticut. And since then, it's been licensed and popping up regionally. And it's really exciting to have both. To have both, like, the premiere of a new play and the opening up of a beloved classic. So I read the play when we finally got our hands on the recently published acting editions, and I did watch the 2017 Kenneth Branagh film the night before our first rehearsal, and it's been really funny because well, I don't want to throw people under the bus, and like, you can absolutely hear the smirk on my face right now, but
Like, people are really
there are opinions in our ensemble. They tend towards the negative about the adaptation choices that Kenneth Branagh made. Is he a sir? Is he a knight? Sir Kenneth. I'm knighting him right now. I found it to be a really wise, modern, contemporary adaptation of the story. Yes, there are some things that are like ridiculous to the point of camp, but like, I love that, and Michelle Pfeiffer gives a great performance. Anyways, that's been my exposure to Agatha Christie, but the real gift, I think, has been discovering it through the lens of our rehearsal room and our company, and our director, Spiro Valudos, who has brought a really fresh and interesting take to both the classic Agatha Christie story and this play by like meeting both the mystery elements of Agatha's writing and the farce elements of Ken Ludwig's writing with a film noir take, which adds a really, really interesting dimension to the proceedings.
So eloquent, and we're being told that he is a knight. So
He's a knight.
He is a knight. There we go. So going off that, why do you think? And as you just mentioned, this play is being done everywhere across the nation right now. Why do you think mysteries and Agatha Christie is so popular on stage right now?
We had a real, sorry. No, we had a really fascinating Q&A with the audience after Sunday's matinee. And an audience member brought up a question about the question of justice that lives in Hercule Poirot's career and lives in his work. And I think that the easy answer to this question, the easy answer to like, why is this getting produced so widely right now, is that it is a new adaptation of a classic. And the audiences that are subscriber bases at regional theaters are audiences that likely grew up reading Murder on the Orient Express, that grew up reading Agatha Christie. But the far more nuanced answer, I think, is that we live in a very complicated political time, and there's something about an earned and individual sense of justice that Hercule Poirot fights for in every investigation that he meets, that I think speaks to our complicated sense of morality in these times that we share. I said to the audience member that we had here, we're constantly fed information, and it's up to us to evaluate that information as right and wrong, good and bad, and come up with our own sense of morality, moral compass, and values and integrity with which we then make the choices that live our lives and affect the lives of those that we care about. And I think that's the more interesting fold as to what it means to produce this play right now.
Yeah, and I also think that it's a very enjoyable piece. It really takes you along for the ride. What she does so beautifully and what Remo really executes so marvelously is that it's fun, it's light, but then his final monologue, I think he really touches actually on the grayness that exists within justice. He says, I can't sleep, I'm paraphrasing here, but he says basically, I cannot sleep because I don't know if I did the right thing. And I think that question of do the right thing, that's something that can be applied. And I think, obviously I'm a fan of Remo's, but I just think that the way he does it, and because the play is so funny throughout the whole thing, and then he drops that, and that's what you're left with, and that's really what you walk away with. And I think it's really, really beautiful.
We just got deep there.
Of course.
Michael started.
I know I asked this exact question when we last met, but your cast is stacked with Boston greats, with Remo at the helm, obviously, but Celeste and Carrie and Will and everyone. You two are just,
I know.
and you two, obviously.
Stop it.
And the show really is such an ensemble piece.
it is.
What is it like getting to work with them again and just this whole group?
It's hilarious. I mean, Michael and I talk about how the rehearsal room, like, I just cannot stop laughing. And I've seen them do it like 300 times now. I personally have learned so much about comedy, even though we're playing it as the material that it is. There are very funny moments, and I've learned so much watching these very, very skilled actors work this material. And it's just a very, very loving room. Everyone is supporting each other, and I think that's the beauty of the ensemble. And I would say, with the help of Spiro, the main focus, and everyone is committed to this, is telling the story and making sure the audience is getting exactly what they need to follow along with the story as it's progressing. So yeah, it's a really wonderful room.
Yeah, I believe I said something similar back in March, because we've really, I mean, like,
So lucky.
this is both of our second time playing here at the Lyric, and both casts have been extraordinary, full of beloved people in this community. And both casts have really been generous with us.
Definitely.
I think for me, the thing that has moved me the most, and the thing that feels most extraordinary, and this is something that I am proud to say I've always known of as a hallmark of the Lyric in particular, is I get to be around people who are not only career artists, but community artists. And, you know, the Lyric prides itself on local hires. It prides itself on Boston-based actors, designers, directors, so on and so forth. And at this point in our career, and both of us are early career artists, to be around people like Celeste and Will and Remo and Davrin and Carrie and Sarah
And Marge, man.
and Marge
She's young, but
and
she's
Scott. I mean, to be around all of these folks who have deftly and gracefully navigated tremendous careers that have been true to who they are, is an extraordinary wealth of knowledge as a young artist. And these are people that I look up to. These are people that I call friends. And to get to spend time with them creating, as I sort of, hypothesize and begin to execute my grand plan for my career, is an extraordinary gift that I'm really proud to get at the Lyric. And like Rosa said, they're so funny, and they do such good work. It's like, the best extended training that I think either of us could ask for is working with these phenomenal people.
And watching them every night, and watching the way that they progress, and they massage the work and the words, and it's just really, really wonderful. And also just like everyone takes care of each other, they just treat you, everyone's just treating everyone so kindly, which I think is the most important thing, no matter what you're doing, right?
Something that feels remarkable that we said during Little Foxes that I will say again, and I don't want to be a broken record, but it warrants saying, it is not important just where we go, but it's as important, if not more important, how we get there. And how we got there on both that process and this process are just such great testaments to caretaking for your ensemble and generosity of spirit and attention to the play and the story and the audience that we're serving. And I'm just as proud of the play that we've got as I am the process that we had together.
And I have to say, Little Foxes and this show are probably two of my favorites I've seen at the Lyric in a long.
We're so lucky.
So, and it's a testament to you both as well. So lovely. Shifting gears a little for a little bit of fun. I want, in the spirit of the show, are there any mysteries or conspiracies out there that you want to try and tackle in your life? For 2 examples, I am so fascinated by Scientology. I've seen every documentary.
Have you seen Glowing Clear?
Oh, of course. Or the My Scientology movie on Netflix. Yes! It's so good. Anyways, it's fascinated by them. And also, I don't know if you heard about the Boston serial killer.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Because I like sleeping.
Anyways, that's a big mystery in my life. I want to figure out. So what's keeping you up at night that you just need to get to the bottom of?
Oh my God.
What's keeping me up at night is a totally different question.
Probably not the best question for Michael.
No. Reining it back in. I love a conspiracy theory. My mom raised me on the X-Files, as well as Madonna and Bruce Springsteen, which explains my hair and my obsession with my hair. But she raised me on the X-Files, and so I've always had a healthy curiosity for conspiracy theories. And one of my favorites that stays with me is actually a conspiracy theory surrounding the Denver International Airport, which is that the Denver International Airport is a home base / portal to an underground civilization for the New World Order. It's it's decked out head to toe in Freemasonry symbology. And please, whoever listens to this, excuse me for the creative license that I take with this, but that's what conspiracy theories are anyways. But there's devilish imagery and really crazy town murals all over the airport. And the airport itself, the architecture of it is really insane. And there's something about this place, this place of transit, in a place of altitude that has access to technology that really fascinates me. The idea is that when the apocalypse comes, the elite will house themselves in this airport, which of course beneath the airport there is all sorts of labyrinthian life support systems and ways to live.
Specifically Denver.
Denver International Airport.
It seems like a...
Google it. Girls, Google it. Google the Denver International Airport. I promise you. I think the runway is...
The DC airport.
No, because it's got to be somewhere not centrally located. centrally. Shout out to everybody who listens in Denver, hi Colorado. I think if I remember correctly, the runways at one point, like whoopsie daisy, accidentally were in the shape of a swastika. So there's like all sorts of stuff, and it's fascinating to me. I adapted Orpheus and Eurydice in college into a modern day. I set it at the Denver International Airport, and that play will never see the light of day.
I can't believe you hesitated to answer this question.
Do you know me at this point?
Okay, well, mine's not as original as Michael's,
That's not
but I'm
original.
also just going to piggyback on your answer because I'm
Technology.
very fascinated by it, and I'm just so curious, like, what do they have on Tom Cruise, right?
I mean,
Or is he?
No, I think he's.
You think he's dead? I think.
No, I think he's. He's just in it. He's in it.
You think?
I mean, I was just watching another lyric.
I think he started in it, but I think that I think he can't get out.
our Theater Talk audience is ready for this conversation.
Should we
I-
start just side note, do you want to start a Scientology podcast? Because
I mean, yeah. So before Theater Talk, before Theater Talk Boston, I had a radio show called Scaredy Cats, which is just conspiracy theories and like mysteries.
Oh,
It's like
wow.
deep dive. That's like early college.
Oh my God.
Anyways.
That's great.
Yeah.
And what did I do with my time at BU? God knows.
Anyways, back to this. I just also want to mention before we go, the technical elements of this show is so vast, and like the projections alone were, my mouth dropped. I'm like, wow, that's incredible. Walk me through your tech process. Like, what was that like here?
arduous, but it was Little Foxes was in a living room, and we didn't change sets. Nothing changed. I mean, the lights changed. There
And
was
our performances
That's
were
right.
the technical fireworks.
Yeah, exactly.
In that show.
but everyone was really patient, and I mean, and the crew that we have is amazing. Like, they are just so dedicated. Like, the pulley, what is this thing called? The platform.
The track. It's on tracks.
It's on tracks. It's a
We call it
platform.
the train, even though it's
Right,
the
compartments. We call them the compartments. Like, they have to move by two people pushing them, and the timing has to be so specific with the music cues and the text and
the acting.
the acting. Yeah.
Yeah.
So shout out to our crews who really make it happen every single night, and also Neris, who gets those cues
Neris Power, our stage manager.
like perfectly every time. Do you want to say?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah,
I
sure.
do want to
Sorry,
say
I'm
something
talking
about
too
this. No, you're not. I'm always talking too much. So this is a technical beast of a show, and I think that it's a real testament to the artists that are working on this show that it translates so beautifully and so vividly onto the lyric stage. Something that ties both the Little Foxes and this together are transporting the audiences in this very intimate 234 seat space, take it or leave it. I don't know if there are house kills or something, but in this very intimate house to a totally different world. In Little Foxes, it was this like grand living room, and it felt truly transportive. Like you walk into this space and you don't expect to see that, but this set breathes and moves in a way that takes phenomenal advantage of the lyrics being a thrust house. And that somehow translates like this large technical facility to what is like a relatively small stage. And again, that's a testament to the designers, and that's a testament to the crew working on this show, because nothing is automated. You've got human beings moving panels, you've got human beings moving.
Which leaves room for human error, which there has not been, right?
There's not been human error. There's been, I mean, the flip side of human error is like actual human artistry.
Right.
And
Yeah,
God,
yeah.
watching these crews dressed as wait staff,
Oh my God,
like
they're so
genuinely commit to like telling the story. And that's what it's all about. And projection design can often be like nightmarish to deal with as an actor. Projection design can often be tricky because it's technologically very nuanced.
Yeah.
But again, committed to telling the story in a way that like transports audiences and makes it as clear as possible. And I think that's why the stuff that's landing is landing so beautifully,
Yeah.
because everyone on the team is really committed to making that happen.
Yeah, and all the design elements really as someone who has a lot of people come who don't know anything about theater, they don't realize, and this show is really a testament to that, of like that this everything is separate, like created kind of almost separately, and then it's brought together. This piece feels like everything was created as just one big element.
Yeah.
It just works really, really well together. Like, Dewey did such a beautiful job. Scott did such a beautiful job. Like, everyone did such a beautiful job. The set is just wonderful. So, yeah.
Yeah, I want to throw out the word spectacular. My partner worked at the Lyric Stage for, I think, 7 years. He's going to kill me for other reasons. But he worked here for a long time, and I've been coming to the Lyric for a long time before I worked here as an actor, which makes all of these experiences that I have here very, very special to me. But this is one of the most spectacular things that I've seen on this stage, and that includes the gorgeous set that we had for Little Foxes. Yeah, really but like, artists, our local artists keep finding a way to bring their A game to this incredibly intimate space, and I think that's a really exceptional thing.
Well, Michael and Rose, I just want to say it is always a blast to speak with you, and I can tell you both are just so friendly and close, and I love it.
Yeah, that's my favorite. My favorite conspiracy theory is that we're dating.
Well, you never know. Agatha Christie's Murder on the Orient Express plays here at the Lyric until December 22nd, and it's selling great. So go to Lyric Stage and get your tickets now. And next up, they're doing The Cake, which we are so excited about. But thank you guys so much, and best of luck with the run.
So much. This was so